Tonight's podcast is brought to you by Mike Kennedy and his latest console venture.
Mike Kennedy here. Just wanted to bring you my new double wham of a great console. It's me again, putting the con back in console. And I just wanted to sell you the new Intellivision Hustle / Coleco Swindle. You heard me right. That's two great consoles for the price of one. It's two ways to take it back to childhood. A return to innocence. Back at it again.
Now,
it's built out of dreams and fun, by the way. The FPGA is built expressly out of fun.
I had a question for you. Why don't you have a prototype yet?
Like I said, it is really hard to obtain dreams and fun. And we're trying to do that right now to really make... If you had a bad childhood, we're trying to give you a fun childhood reliving. FPGA.
So why is it $600?
FPGA, once again, FPGAs, they're very expensive. We outsource them from Cantonese region. Very expensive. You could, if you hear in the background, that was a truck leaving right now, bringing more FPGA chips to us. We got a lot of support on this, guys. It's going to be a great console. Great. Taking it back to childhood. Return to innocence. Now,
it's in the Jaguar shell again, but I've heard it can play PlayStation.
I got 4,000 of them left, so, I have more Jaguar shells than there are Jaguars, so...
I understand that, but I've heard it can play PlayStation and 3DO games.
That's true.
How can a cartridge console play this game?
We're covering all grounds. It's got a built-in CD drive on the backside, right underneath the FPGA.
It's funny, I couldn't see that in the renders.
That's because it's a sensitive prototype. It stays underneath glass. We'll have a working unit, hopefully available at E3.
So, why are those SNES controllers hardwired?
Well, everybody knows Jim Power is played best with SNES controllers, and that's just it's easier controller to work with. That's what we're using. It's all about the FPGA, really.
Oh, well, it sounds great to
me.
We
didn't use a Wii controller.
Well, that would just be silly.
We never used a Wii Pro controller.
Well, it sounds really good. You got the blessings of the good old gamers.
Well, I'm glad. Just be sure to send your $600. Now, we have many different options.
Now you did,
if you get past
you did specify you want that money in cashier's checks?
In cashier's checks.
Money orders?
I will also accept Bitcoins.
Okay.
We'll also accept Bitcoins. So, check us out. It's a great product. It's a dream come true. It's the first retro-based console to be released in 15 years. So check it out. The Intellivision Hustle / Coleco Swindle. Holler at me. It'll be here. Welcome back once again to the Good Old Gamers podcast. I'm Lyle McClendon. I'm here as always with my buddy, Brandon Gentry.
Go fuck yourself, Steve. You're supposed to be here with us.
Steve.
But you're not.
Steve got real busy as I dig my hand into the chip bag. He got busy and left us.
I think he had to go out and suck some dick to save up money for that Coleco, was it the Coleco Swindle?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can't believe Mike Kennedy's out again. I can't believe you went and interviewed the guy and I didn't give my permission for it.
I thought you'd be cool with it. Is this?
I don't know.
He called me in a back alley. He had a weapon. I couldn't say no to that.
It does sound pretty good on paper. I mean, 2 consoles for the price of one,
and so many convenient ways to non-refundable ways to pay.
Yeah, I know. The Bitcoin thing kind of seemed a little off.
It's cool. It's the internet, man. Nothing bad happens on the internet.
Never. Anywho, it's May 3rd, 2016, episode number 56.
55.
55?
55.
Fuck. Well, wow. Sorry. I'm drinking.
Always thinking ahead.
I burp. Damn, keep burping. I'm drinking Old English brand 800 malt liquor.
Bought that straight from Lando Calrissian.
This is straight from Cloud City, baby. Still got that Cloud City chill to it. It's delicious. I feel like I see you drinking that High Life. I brought Brandon. I went to the Tennessee state line and bought 40-ounce beers like a real G.
Hell yeah.
And I brought Brandon back a Miller High Life, and I really enjoy High Life. But I wanted something different, so I feel like I'm cheating. So it is a Lando beer. Like, I'm about to sell out Han Solo.
Luke Skywalker dropped it through the stratosphere himself to give it that crisp mountain chill.
just enjoy that High Life. Your nuts are about to be dipped in carbonite for 4 years, bitch. Anywho,
oh, shit.
As always, we're going to kick it off with some news. Okay, this isn't really video game related, but it goes with my little bitchy moany rants.
It's good old
past
gamers
few weeks. It is a good old gamers thing, so I need to go ahead and put this out there. The Ghostbusters trailer that I've griped and bitched and moaned about is officially the most disliked movie trailer on YouTube in history.
It's awesome. But what metric is that, by the way?
I think just all other...
Is it like downvotes or what?
By dislikes.
Okay.
Because it's like... shit. I don't even know now. I could look, I guess. But I do believe last time I checked it was like 250,000 likes and like 750,000 dislikes.
Nice.
I'm not 100%, but I'm going to look right now so I can tell you. It has had...
Kind of reminds me, like, a couple months ago.
224,000 likes and 666,600 dislikes.
Yes. It reminds me like a month or so ago. I noticed that on Rotten Tomatoes. Batman vs. Superman scored lower than Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my fucking god.
That was fucking awesome.
That's amazing to me. That is absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
because I just, dude, you saying Paul Blart Mall Cop just makes me be like...
I feel that little bit of vomit come up in the back of your throat.
You feel me? I feel my body tense up when you say that shit. Surprise, surprise. Microsoft has announced there's a fucking train in the background. Sorry, we're going for a new ambient experience with the Good Old Gamers podcast. It's very hot in my room, and we have the windows open, so you get all of the outside ambience.
Enjoy that Valmont ambience.
Yeah, this is what it sounds like living in the country and playing video games. But anywho, there's going to be a new Xbox debuted at E3. Of fucking course.
Yeah.
Slim model or whatever.
They got to throw out something to rain on the NX's parade.
Yep. Dude, it is what it is, but I really hope Nintendo just comes out and just fucking does some damage. I don't see it happening, but I really hope, man. I would love to see that. I mean, that's a good. They're in death blow territory now.
It's a good segue to a piece of news I have. The NX won't be sold at less than cost, which is, most people know, the last few generations of consoles have all been sold at a loss. That is, if you buy the console for $300, it might cost them $350 to make it. So, and the reason why they do that is because they want you to buy the console so you buy the games, and that's where they make their money back, is all the games and the licenses involved and stuff. But the NX, they said they can't do it. They said when the Wii U was launched, The yen was very strong. I'm assuming that situation will not repeat itself. Selling at a loss will not support the business, so we are keeping that in mind in developing the NX. So, NX is going to be a little more expensive than people would like, probably, which is not going to be good for it.
No. Because that's one thing. Nintendo's always had a very decent price point.
Oh yeah,
on their shit.
They've been since the newer generation shit. They've been the budget console.
Because I remember, man, I still remember back when N64 and PlayStation were still going head to head. I remember PlayStation brand new was $2.99. You could go get a fucking N64 brand new for like $2.49. You know, that $50 means the difference.
Yeah, they haven't been the expensive console since they crushed Sega.
Hey, I don't mind paying for this shit, but give me what I'm paying for.
Yeah.
Don't fucking give me another Wii U. And I'm not backpedaling on my shit. I love the Wii U. I'm just saying, you know, don't give me something and then barely support the fucking thing.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're gonna fork that kind of money out, give me the fucking bang for my buck.
Yeah, I agree. Another similar news. PlayStation Network alone made more money than Nintendo as a company did in its entirety. Yeah, last fiscal year. The PlayStation Network generated 529 billion yen, whereas the Nintendo only pulled 504 billion yen as a whole company. And if you look at the profit margins, it's even lower because, I mean, obviously Nintendo's got hardware costs involved, and PlayStation Network is, you know, a software service. They got they got some hardware involved, but they're not selling hardware. Selling software, they got pennies into each purchase that you make. So, that just really speaks to the position Nintendo's in and how PlayStation's really dominated.
It's a very grave fucking situation at this point, I think.
It is. I really hope they don't go the way of Sega, but it's not looking great.
We'll see, man. Only time will tell. That E3, you know, it's kind of exciting because E3 is also the same weekend that we're in at Southern Fried this year. So,
yeah,
we're gonna have to be.
They almost lined up that way last year. Too.
It was going on because I remember when we would go back to the room in between, I would go back and check what they were dropping, which there wasn't really anything that spectacular last year. This year is going to be a good one. I think because
Nintendo specifically is going to have to like bring their A game.
It's always an exciting thing when Nintendo is about to unveil the new hardware. Hopefully, this won't be the last time they're doing it.
Yeah, I hate to say them in this position. They're like the last real retro company left. I mean, I guess you consider PlayStation retro, but they don't go back that far. Not compared to Nintendo. You know, Nintendo started off with that fucking Donkey Kong and shit in arcades.
It's sad, but times have changed. They're going to have to.
And I think they've
hemorrhaged
so much of the market share over time. Even if they came up with the next best console, I'm not sure that they would, you know, knock it out of the park in sales. So many people are, you know, Call of Duty, Halo,
yeah.
Not many people really feel that much love towards the classics anymore, like Mario and stuff. I mean, obviously there are a lot of people that do, but compared to the overall market share, not so much.
We're gonna, the big thing is Nintendo's gonna really have to step their fucking third-party support up.
They are.
Big time.
Yeah.
That same bullshit Nintendo business model from late 80s, early 90s ain't going to be able to apply
Well, see, it's
anymore.
like they overcorrected themselves from the Wii, because the Wii, like, fucking any hillbilly in their garage could put out a Wii game, as long as it was like a party game or some bullshit. And even though the Wii was by far the best-selling console, to me, that kind of detracted from it. It became... The Wii and Nintendo...
It's an interactive like thing for your fucking house, not really as much as a game console.
Yeah, the Wii became seen as like a children's toy rather than a console by most older console gamers because of all these shit games they put on there. So then they overcorrected for that and like nothing but fucking straight Nintendo titles. And now you go into the store to buy a new game. There's that 3 you want to buy.
Everything else is just kind of rehashed horse shit.
Yeah.
Kiddie games. That's one thing. Like Nintendo's got to make the move toward more mature shit.
Yeah, Bayonetta was a great step. I fucking love Bayonetta too. But
I mean, could you fathom seeing a more grown-up Legend of Zelda game?
Yeah, be pretty sweet.
We won't ever get it.
No,
but in theory, it sounds nice. Dude, there's not much in news. That I have.
So all of that Jet Set Radio is now available on Xbox One via the 360 backwards compatibility. So it's a good game to pick up.
I love that game so much.
It's great because it's one that you can just pick up for 20 minutes and put down, and it's just great arcadey fun. For those that aren't familiar with it, I talked about a few episodes, the Steam version, a few episode back, but you just rollerblade around on mag skates and spray paint crap, run from the cops and stuff like that. It's cell shaded, so it doesn't lose its graphics, its graphical edge. I guess you'd say it still looks like a good game. They weren't shooting for realistic art. It's very stylized. So even though
it's very graffiti art style.
Yeah. So even though it's older, the fact that it's stylized so much, it still looks good.
Hey, did you ever play Jet Set Future? Is that the second one?
That was on the Xbox, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I briefly played it. Like I still have never owned an original Xbox.
I gotta stop stuffing my fat ass mouth.
I'll stuff that fat ass mouth for you.
Gargle your marbles.
Dude,
I'm bone dry on fucking news. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna bone you dry.
God damn.
Mighty Number 9 has a quote unquote in stone release date for June 24th.
Does it? June 24th?
June 24th.
I'm pretty pumped about that shit.
It looks good if it ever gets released. There's nearly 6 months. No, over 6 months. More like 8 months past due, I think.
Oh, man.
What up?
Oh, man. Dude, as we're recording, I just got a hit on my ticker that just goes with what we just were fucking talking about. You're not going to like this shit.
What up?
Nintendo NX is not going to be at E3. Somebody was like, fuck this, I'm getting out of here. And they just drove off. Yep. June 2016 is too early for Nintendo NX. The next platform isn't ready, and the company has made it clear it isn't discussing specifics, which means we'll have to wait and see how the new concept will differentiate in the future.
Man,
that's not good.
No. They're 11 months away, roughly, from E3 from release. They should have something working to show off.
They said, Nintendo president said it needs enough games to go with it. It won't launch this holiday. We believe that when launching the hardware, the amount of quality software for consumers to play that is available at launch is important.
Maybe you should have thought about that with the Wii.
Yeah. Yep. That's one thing you can say, though. Nintendo does have a new president now. So maybe he's kind of not rushing shit out there. I mean, that's the only hope in this shit. The Wii U launched with 32 games in North America.
How many of them were great games?
4 were published by Nintendo.
There's how many that was great.
Yeah. So, I can't fucking believe that.
So they're pretty much just going to do a Saturn or a Jaguar, and it was like, hey guys, it's here.
You know, though, that kind of sucks because being that they're releasing Zelda Wii U for NX and Wii U, that probably also means Zelda is going to be delayed that fucking long.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they said
because they won't release it beforehand on Wii
that's
U
what they
and
said.
then NX.
Yeah, they even said that it's they just pushed it back with the Wii U. I mean, the NX, rather.
I can't fucking believe that. Well, there y'all have it now. I mean, be old news by the time you get this, but still. You heard it as we found it out. I can't fucking believe that.
Yeah, it's redonk.
That's not good, man. That is not fucking good. But whatevs, your funeral.
Yep. I guess that's it for the
news. That's it. God damn it, Nintendo. What the fuck, dude? What the hell? Anywho.
Yeah, that's kind of baffling.
Do you want me to do my shit, or do you want to do Vault first? We didn't have a Vault call in.
Well, yeah, we don't have a Vault call in.
But we'll plug them.
Yep.
Check out Vault.
Yeah, they're in Hanceville now.
They are.
Over there close to Wallace State for all you college cats.
Yap your jaws about Vault for a minute, and I'll find us an address.
So they're really the best mom and pop game shop around here, especially here in the Coleman area. They've got a large selection of range. Well, they dumped all their Atari stuff. So
they did. They dumped all their Atari stuff in my game room. Yes, I did.
But from Nintendo up to current shit, they got it.
918 Main Street, Hanceville.
Okay.
It's located on Highway 31 next to the Chevron and Movie Factory. If you're familiar with anything with Hanceville or Coleman, you can find it out.
Yeah, I can't say I blame them for dumping Atari. Not that Atari's a bad system, just about 25 people collect for it, and the games sell for $1 each. So,
speaking of which, fans, I got an Atari 2600 boxed with about 40 games for sale. So if you need the hookup, let Papa Lyle know. He'll send that love out that way.
Call him Papa Lyle for a special 0% discount.
Exactly. Yeah, the Vault's got it all, man. Vault's got a crispy, sexy Contra Force I'm fixing to pick up. Most definitely.
And tell one of our dickhead listeners, go run down there and snatch it up.
My name's on it. But anyway, they got tons of shit down at the new store. They'd be appreciative if you come see them. I don't know if Mark's still running the deal, but at one point, last week, he actually called in the week before last, but we posted last week, and it's still honored. If you do go in the Vault and tell them that the Good Old Gamers sent you, you might get a little bit of a discount.
Yep.
That's possible. I don't know if it's still going, but you may.
Go do it. Do it.
Go tell Mark, though. Go see Mark down at Vault. And like I said, if you're not local to Coleman, Alabama, you can... They got an Amazon store.
Yeah, Amazon.com/shop/Vault Games.
So you can hit them up on there.
Their shit's pretty well taken care of. They know what they got. So you go in there and you want to ask them for a game, they probably know off the top of their head if they got it or not. So go check them out.
Do it. But I guess it's time for me to yap for a minute, right?
Yep. Get the yapping.
Let me tell you what's stinking up my hands this week. And actually, I haven't really had time to play a handheld game, so I'm technically lying to you. It can't really be stinking my hands up. One, because I don't own this. This is just something I want to talk about because it's like a dream thing of mine to own. And two, because Hyperkin is rumored to be remaking a new version of this. Wanted to talk a little bit about the TurboExpress by NEC. It's released in the 90s. It's essentially just a portable TurboGrafx PC engine. It's a little black handheld console. It's got your 1-player and 2-player switch. Or not 1-player and 2-player, but your button 1, button 2 turbo switches down at the bottom. And it's got button 1, button 2. And it takes the hue cards like a Game Boy would. And
does it play the exact same games from a Turbo? So
it does.
It's almost like the Nomad is with the Genesis.
Exactly. It is exactly like that. It can play all the TurboGrafx 16 hue games. And I'm not 100% on this. Like I said, I don't own one, but from what I gather from from people, there's not a region lock.
Okay.
On these things either.
So you get some of them sweet Japanese Bombermans and stuff.
Yeah, I think. And if I'm wrong, and somebody else can correct me on that, that's fine. But I think. It's
therefore you am.
I think therefore I am. It's got a 2.6 inch screen, which is the exact same size as the original Game Boy. It can display 64 sprites at once, 16 per scan line, and up to 481 colors from a palette of 512.
That's pretty impressive for that
Much
time.
more than the Game Boy could do.
Mm-hmm.
And it also had 8 kilobytes of RAM. Impressive.
It's a certified G right there.
And it runs at 7.16 megahertz. It came out at the same time that the Game Boy, Game Gear, and Atari Lynx did. It only sold, though, about 1.5 million units. So, it never really gained a good foothold. It launched at $249.
That's steep.
$250. And,
I mean, that's steep today for a handheld.
It said the launch price was $249.99, and then it went up randomly to $299.99 for a little while, and then dropped back to $249.99. And then in 1992, it was launched with a $200 price tag. Weird, but hence probably why you don't fucking see any of them at all.
No, you know, you take your kid in the store and you see that thing, and then the Game Boy. You buy him the fucking Game Boy.
Another problem it had, it only gets about 3 hours battery life for 6 AA's. So that's...
Was wall chargers even an option?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it has one. But it's backlit.
That's good.
So, I mean, you know, Turbo does what Nintendo don't there, too.
Yep.
There was a thing for it called the Turbo Link, similar to the Link cables for Game Boy. There was only 1 or 2 games, I think, released that supported Link Play, but there was Falcon, a flight simulator, that had a head-to-head dogfight mode that could only be accessed using Turbo Link. So was
there a Bomberman Link game?
Bomberman 93
Sweet.
actually has a COM Link multiplayer.
That's probably my top Turbo game.
First time I ever played Bomberman was on Turbo. And I found a copy of Bomberman on Turbo not too long ago, and it was $70 fucking.
Yeah, fuck that.
God damn it. I almost paid it just simply for... Dude, I remember me and my grandpa renting Bomberman for the first time. And it wasn't NES Bomberman, it was fucking Turbo Bomberman.
Yeah.
So, you know, like $100... That's a lot of money, but, you know, it still kind of gives me the feels.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like the sentimental aspect of it. I'm just like, that ain't bad for what it is. But, you know, it also had a TV tuner, though, that come out for the TurboExpress called the Turbo Vision. That allowed you just kind of like exactly like the one the Game Gear, you know, had out for it. Included an RCA audio-video input for external composite video signals.
So that way you can watch
It's dead now, though, of course. Unless you go to Canada. I think they still do analog broadcasting in some parts of Canada.
Or you can get an old VCR.
Yeah, you could do that. You could watch old Debbie Does Dallas on your TurboExpress. You could TurboExpress your dick.
I was going to say, back then you could watch your local news, like... Here in Alabama, watch old Dan Satterfield freak out about a rain shower somewhere. Or you could watch some stolen porn channels.
The TurboExpress does appear in popular culture. It's in the movie Three Ninjas, an Enemy of the State, and also appears in the TV series Doogie Howser, M.D.
I thought this was popular culture.
True that. That's about all I can say about it. It's a bitchin' little console. I'd love to have one. Hyperkin is supposed to be doing like an HD redo of it, which I don't... You know, Hyperkin also posted pictures of the fucking thing you put your iPhone down to and turn your iPhone into a Game Boy. And they never... Vaporware, pretty much. They never come out with nothing, so... We'll see. I will own a TurboExpress at some point, but it'll probably be a few years down the road. They're still slinging for about $250 to $300 on eBay.
It's rough for something like that.
They're about new price still.
Well,
that's it for what's in my hands. We just had a little what's in your hands discussion.
I'm going to talk about my game of the week.
Oh, yeah. My brain is being fucked.
That is the sound of my asshole being clenched so tight you couldn't thread a friction wire through it.
Yeah, it scrambled my fucking brain just a little bit.
The game I'm talking about is Godzilla 2: War of the Monsters on the NES.
The price of that game will also scramble your brain just a little fucking bit.
I'm kind of in the same position as you are in that copy of Bomberman. I want it, but a shitty loose copy is like $80. A factory sealed copy is $1,200. The manual is like $30 to $50. The box is an original box is probably about the same, $30 to $50. And I don't understand why, because if you look up reviews for it, it's a generally reviled game. Most people hate this game.
Probably just didn't have many released.
That's the only thing I can guess. It didn't sell well.
Did you notice what year it was released by chance?
It was in 92, and it was one of the few games developed and published by Toho.
Well, they didn't cease NES production of games until like 94?
Something like that. It's one of the few games that I bought brand new, because I was so pumped. Because I loved Godzilla 1.
You're the only person on the planet I know that... I mean, I like Godzilla, but you're the only person I know that absolutely is in love with the first Godzilla game.
Oh, that's fucking awesome. I mean, running around as a giant-ass Godzilla sprite and he beat up mountains and shit.
If you remember our Halloween episodes...
Yeah, the creepypasta.
There's a potential for a dark road you can go down, too.
But Godzilla 2, at first... I was like most people. I was disappointed in this game because I loved the first game so much. And this thing was billed as a sequel because it's Godzilla 2, War of the Monsters. If they would have left 2 off of there, I think a lot of people would have been a lot less butthurt over it. Because
you expect more of the same from the first one.
Yeah, it's not a sequel. It's just another Godzilla game. But I've grown to love it. It's the first game that really introduced me to strategy games. And for a NES strategy game, it's pretty in-depth. That music you just heard, that was the enemy phase. It's a turn-based strategy game, and while the enemies are taking your turn, that's the phase you hear, the music you hear while all the monsters are running around wrecking shit and destroying all your units. The game's set up with 12 scenarios, and all the scenarios are loosely based on different movies.
Yeah, they only had like fucking 30 to choose from. At that point, didn't they?
But the objectives there's really 3 objectives between all of them. The most common one is kill all the monsters and you win. They kill all your guys and you lose. Then there's one where you got to defend a nuclear power plant from Godzilla, and then one where you got to defend Mothra's eggs from various monsters. And like I said, it's a strategy game where you look at an overhead map and you control various army units on a grid. And usually it's always in some kind of a city of some sort. So there's different buildings, and for most of the buildings are just there to distract the monsters for a little bit while you build your shit up. But an Air Force base, a Army base, and you get like a science lab, and a space station, or space lab, I guess you'd say. I don't think there's any other any other buildings of real importance other than the nuclear power plant, which is just to defend this. If it gets destroyed, you lose. You got a lot of different units that you can play with, and different scenarios use different units. And all these scenarios, you start off with a limited number of units. Either they're already on the map, or you have to produce them. But once they're produced, like that's it. Like your army base might have 2 tanks and a truck or something, and that's all you can produce. But the units, you got fighter planes, attacker planes, which are bombers. I don't know why they call them attackers. Tanks, little missile trucks, missile launching trucks. I'm sure there's a better name for those. I don't know what the fuck they're called. It's a truck with a missile.
Mortar trucks, maybe?
No, it's not mortars. They got missile launchers on the back.
Missile launcher trucks.
That's, yeah. Yeah, AA guns. You got a radar truck, which is really important. You got the Super X2, which is a special aircraft from Godzilla vs. Biollante. You got the Psi-3, which is from another special aircraft from Destroy All Monsters. You got the classic Freezer. You got the classic Mazer. And both of those are more or less glass cannon type things. They don't take much damage, but holy shit, they will wreck some stuff. You got a truck, which is just, as you think, it's a truck that hauls shit around.
It just went driving by.
Yeah, it just went the truck from
That was
Godzilla
the sound
2.
effect.
You got Mothra larva, you got Mothra's egg, and last but not least, the A-bomb. The A-bomb is the biggest turd trick in a video game ever. Because you can produce the A-bomb, and you're like, oh, sweet, I got an A-bomb. I could use this. No, you can't.
It destroys everything, right?
Yeah, you deploy the A-bomb, it's an instant loss. I don't even understand why they give you the option to deploy it, other than just to turd trick you one time. Like, I remember as a child, like, I was in a tight spot, like, well, I'm just going to nuke Godzilla then. Wrong. And so when you deploy the A-bomb, it immediately goes to the game over screen with the Godzilla like walking over a ruined city, and it says something like, "What have you done, you fool?"
The Japanese release of Godzilla 2 probably doesn't even have that option. They just put it. They're like, we're gonna make somebody feel bad for this.
But the A-bomb's purpose, though, it did have a purpose, and that purpose was to attract Godzilla, because Godzilla is traditionally attracted to radiation. So what you do, it's a pretty legit strategy, is you put the A-bomb on the truck, because the A-bomb can only move 2 spaces a turn, the truck can move like 7. So you put the A-bomb on the truck and drive it around and kind of lure Godzilla around. There's another unit called the Destroyer, which is a reference to the Oxygen Destroyer in the very first Godzilla, and it made a couple references in later Godzillas that never really was expanded upon beyond the first one. In the first Godzilla died. They used the Oxygen Destroyer while Godzilla's in water and just disintegrated him. It does the same thing in this game. If you get him in water, if he's within 5 tiles of the Oxygen Destroyer and you pop it, he dies. So that's one easy way to kind of deal with Godzilla, is you lure him off into water with the A-bomb and then use the Oxygen Destroyer to kill him. Most people approach this game wrong. Every time I've watched a review or read a review where people shit on the game, they bitch about having limited number of units. They bitch about the combat, which I'll touch on in a second. They bitch about the difficulty of the game. And when you actually see or read how they play the game, they just blindly throw units at the monsters, expecting just to beat them in all-out combat. Now, guys,
there's no strategic value to what they're doing.
No. I was like 7 years old when I got this game, and I was better at this game than they are. Fucking adults. I mean, have you not watched fucking Godzilla? Your little tanks, your planes, and stuff, they ain't shit. They're not supposed to take down a monster in a few hits. Sometimes you get lucky and you do a lot of damage with them due to, another thing they bitch about is the slots. The combat has a slot machine type mechanic to it. Whenever one of your units comes in contact with the monster, or vice versa, you can go into combat. And the combat shows like your unit on the left and them on the right, and this camera kind of pans between them. You get to choose an attack. Different units have different attacks, and monsters are weak to different attacks. So when you choose an attack, you get 3 little slots, like slot machine type deals come up, and it's just kind of random. You just press the A button and choose them. They go at random. There's 12, not 12. There's 4 different types of slot effects you can get. Technically 8, but there's hearts, shields, rifle sights, and the wild card. The heart gives you offense. The shield gives you defense. The rifle sights gives you a higher chance to hit, and the wild card is a wild card. It could be any of those 3. But they're all colored either red or blue. Blue affects you. Red affects the monster. So if you roll 3 red hearts, you're about to get fucked up because that monster's got 3 offensive buffs. But for the most part, it's not that bad. You just kind of got to realize that there's no guarantee in the game, and it sometimes it'll piss you off, but other times it gives you those fucking jump up and yell moments where you're like your little pissant tank killed fucking Godzilla from damn near full health somehow. So and
that's how you win ultimately, right? Is killing Godzilla.
Well, killing the monsters. There's more than Godzilla in this game. The monsters in this game, you got Godzilla, you got Baragon, you got Hedorah. Baragon was like the second Toho monster. He looks more like I can't think of the dinosaur's name. A dinosaur with he's got a horn on his nose and like a spiked back.
Gorgo? No,
I don't know what real dinosaur it is based on.
Gorgo, I think, is the one I think you're talking about. Maybe.
I don't know. I'm not a dinosaurologist. But there's Hedorah. Hedorah is a slime monster who, I don't know if Hedorah ever made it into a film. I know he's in a few different, no, Hedorah's in a film. I'm thinking of the damn stupid squid monster. No, that's a kaiju. Lyle showed me Goryo. I'm talking about Baragon.
Okay.
He's based on a real monster. I mean,
okay.
a real dinosaur.
Okay.
But anyways, Godzilla, Baragon, Hedorah. There's Rodan. I think most people know Rodan. He's basically a giant pterodactyl. There's Ghidorah, their 3-headed monster, King Ghidorah. There's the UFO, which is a motherfucker. And then there's Mothra and Mothra larva. Also, throughout this game, since there are different monsters and all kinds of different shit that they can do and how to affect them, there's 3 scientists you can talk to at any point in the game, and they give you hints. Sometimes they'll tell you to fuck off, I can't help you. Sometimes they give you a really good hint. Like, in the 12th scenario when I was playing it, it's the hardest scenario where you just got to defeat all the monsters in the game besides Mothra and Mothra's larva. One of the scientists tells you, hey, take the radar gun and search by the space shuttle place. And you do that, and he reveals one of Mothra's eggs. And then they spawn Mothra and Mothra's larva, and they help you. They're really big assets in that fight. But there's other things. Like the radar gun is one of the most useful, a radar truck is one of the most useful ones in the game. Because Baragon burrows underground and moves around. So he can just burrow underground until he heals up to full. But if you use the radar gun, you can make him come out, and so he can't hide from you. And the radar gun also kind of freezes King Ghidorah. It stops him from healing as drastically as he does. Keeps him from flying around so much. The UFO wrecks everything you fucking got except for Mothra's larva. And I think Mothra itself can fuck it up. I'm not sure. I've always used Mothra's larva. It can spit the cocoon thread on it, and it's like a one-hit fucking kill. To normally fucking difficult boss that one hit kills all your shit. The only normal unit that can kind of compete with it there's 2 of them, the Super X2 and the Psi 3. It'll fuck the Psi 3 up. It's just more or less 2 overpowered units slugging fists at each other. Mm-hmm. But the Super X2 has a reflection shield, and sometimes that reflection shield will one hit kill that UFO if you're lucky. You might not get lucky though. Let's see. Hedorah, being the slime monster, you do not fuck with him in the ocean because he heals so fucking fast. Godzilla is overall probably the more difficult of the monsters just because he has no real weakness. Most of these other monsters have some kind of weakness that you can exploit. Godzilla's only real weakness is you can lure him around with the A-bomb and use the oxygen destroyer, but that's only in a couple of different levels that you can do that. So overall, he's the hardest. The Mazer, like I said, is basically a truck with a giant Tesla coil on it, or not Tesla coil, but it kind of works that way though. It's a ray gun that shoots electricity,
Yeah.
and it can't take but like a couple hits, but it'll fuck some monsters up. Freezer, I think the freezer is good on Hedorah because he can freeze them and then fuck his shit up. But yeah, I don't think there's much else I wanted to talk about. There's enough more in-depth shit in this game that I'm probably skipping some of it. So I don't think I've ever sat down and beat all 12 scenarios because
I don't think I've ever even sat down and played Godzilla 2.
Really?
Mm-mm.
I might have to show you tonight. Of course, it's a lengthy game. Like the couple nights ago, I played the first playthrough, which is the resurrection of Godzilla, and you just got to defeat Godzilla and Paragon. Then Paragon. And I played the 12th one, the hardest one, which is one where you got to kill every single monster. And that one took me a solid hour and a half. And so there's 12 of these scenarios, and there's always a bit of random element to it. So there's a lot of fucking replay value in it for NES games, especially
cool.
an NES strategy game.
That's probably one of the reasons too. That's about an $80 game right now.
Probably. Even though, like I said, I've seen very few people actually like the fucking game. I guess those of us that do are willing to pay that price. If I didn't have more important things to spend my money on, I'd probably buy it myself. But until then, I'm just going to wait until I find a reasonable priced one to fall in my hands.
Oh, yeah. So, in your opinion, though, would you think that Super Godzilla is more of a sequel
It is.
to Godzilla than Godzilla 2, actually?
Well, no, it's more of a sequel to Godzilla 2, I think. There's more of that strategy element.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
So I've never really played a lot of
I was
Super
a big
Godzilla
fan
either.
of Super Godzilla.
I just remember it had the scene where it's like Godzilla, and it'd show like the cut scene on bottom of him stomping through the city.
Yeah, it was almost had a eye of the beholder aspect to it. I didn't really care for it a lot. I really wanted to like it, but I just never could get into it. So I really don't know a whole lot about that game because I didn't play it enough to really know anything about it. But yeah, Godzilla 2, War of the Monsters, check it out, at least on ROM. It's free that way. It's for, I mean, what other NES strategy game can you think of? The next closest thing I can think of is Romance of the Three Kingdoms on SNES.
I think there was a couple of those on NES
Was there?
as well. I think. There's some other strategy games on NES, but I can't just think of them right offhand. And it's, they're steeped in your typical cryptic NES shit, so good luck figuring out how to play them.
Yeah.
Well, my random game of the week.
Oh, yeah, I wanted to show you the stark contrast in music. Because, like I said, there's two phases of the game. There's the player phase and the monster phase. You heard the music to the monster phase. The player phase sounds more like, I don't know, like a jester's court in fucking medieval times.
For some reason, it makes me think of the Black Bass.
Yeah.
A little bit. Please don't send me to the pit below the castle square. I only mean to make you laugh.
Hey, end your turn and then get this shit. Then his shit's getting wrecked.
Nice.
Yeah, that'll always be the asshole cringing music to me because you never knew what was going to happen, what monsters were going to spawn where, what were they going to do because the AI is very random. Sometimes they just kind of meandered around. Sometimes they just went and wrecked your fucking shit right off the bat. So
sometimes
it's really nerve-wracking.
They didn't even spit on their dicks.
Hell
they
no.
put them in.
Ghidorah put all three of them in.
That's why he's the king, baby.
Well, hell yeah. Hail to the king.
Well, my game is a little bit different than that. But, I'll play you this. Oh, get ready for it. know it yet?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Oh, yes. It's Morphin time, motherfuckers. I have been playing.
That's still the best fucking like intro to a child show ever. That's sweet
yeah,
metal.
Dude. Oh, yeah. I remember when the movie came out, you know, the movie soundtrack, which is what I'm talking about tonight. I've been playing Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie, the game, for the old Sega Genesis. Which, I have a physical copy, but I got the ROM on my phone, and that's at work today. I managed to actually play through the game. For the movie release games, the Power Rangers had a Game Boy, Game Gear, SNES, and Genesis version. And the Genesis version is the most close, most faithful to the movie. While at the same time... Avenues. It also interjects the TV show in to give it a little bit more length. It's a beat-em-up. It's a very easy beat-em-up. You have a time limit for set phases that you go through, like working your way left to right. If there's 15 enemies, you got to kill in a certain phase. For example, if you walk from one building to a fucking street light at the end, and past the street light, there's another building. We'll say the end of the street light's the first phase. You got 60 seconds to beat these 15 enemies. If you don't, you can still live, but it just slowly starts depleting your life meter until you get through there. So you're constantly in a hurry to get through, but there's enough, if your time runs out, you get enough life up coins and credit coins to keep you going. And throughout the level, there's all kinds of power-ups you can constantly get. You get Power Ranger coins, you know, like the little coin with the fucking dinosaur emblem on them. Like, you get Tyrannosaurus, his life up. Fucking Mastodon is 5,000 points. Pterodactyl's 1,000 points. You know, that kind of shit. But, it also has, like, cutscenes. The Genesis version does, taken from the movie, recreated. The stage 1 and 2, you open up in Angel Grove, and you're fighting the Ooze Men, which is Ivan Ooze's henchmen. They're purple, and they all look like they belong in a White Zombie video from '93. Because they all have dreadlocks and shit. And they're all freaky looking. Stage 1 and 2 both take place in Angel Grove. And you're able to pick any Power Ranger. White, red, black, blue, yellow, pink.
No one picks the Pink Ranger. Unless they're sticking it in the pink.
Yep. She gets that old fork action. And I like playing as the Red Ranger. The White Ranger's always been my favorite, of course, but the Red Ranger plays the best.
Fuck White, Green Ranger all the way, man.
Oh yeah, Green Ranger's the shit. Which leads me to the new thing that I'll get to in a minute. But the thing about it is, it's your, like I said earlier, it's your basic beat 'em up. A does a special attack where, like for Red Ranger, for example, he does like a spin kick, and it attacks everything around him. But it's a special attack, so every time you use it, it depletes a very small amount of health. Then you got B, which is your standard attack, punch. Then you got C, which is jump. And of course, you can jump and do an attack in the air, but it's also got the beat 'em up thing where if you double tap the direction button in a certain direction you're facing, he'll do like a run and sprint and slide into him with the shoulder. But if you do that and then hit the B button, he'll hit with the shoulder and sling the sword out. So you can like chain up combo attacks and shit like that. But you can pick any of the Power Rangers. You start out as Jason, Zach. Actually, you start out as Rocky, Adam, Aisha, Billy, Tommy, and Kimberly, which is the lineup from the movie. To make for a little more meat to this game, after you beat the first two stages, it goes to a flashback scene. Like I said, stage 1 and 2 is Angel Grove, and at the end of stage 2, you fight a boss, which is the Ooze Zords that Ivan Ooze has in the movie. The Scorpion and the Bumblebee. Hornetron, Bumblebee, a Hornet. Hornetron and Scorpitron. You fight both of those. The Ooze Man, of course, you're as the Power Rangers, but when you fight Hornetron and Scorpitron, you're Zords. And you're able to pick from the Ninja Megazord, which was used in the movie, or you're able to pick from the White Falcon Zord from the movie. Both times, every time I've ever played the game, I always pick the Ninja Megazord. But there's no difference between the way the Power Ranger and the Zord controls, other than instead of the jump button, the C button is used as a block button. But you do that, and then in stage 3 it goes to the flashback scenes, and you play then as the original other 3 Power Rangers got replaced. You play as Jason, Zach, and Trini in place of Rocky, Adam, and Aisha. And you fight Rita's Sentinels, which I don't know if you remember with the cartoon, they were part of the thing when the Green Ranger saga was going on. They were like their Sentinel neck, Sentinel ear, and Sentinel ring, which are these like really weird fucking Japanese monster things. But anyways, you beat them and you fight Putty Patrol constantly on stage 3.
They dance around and give you the jazz hands.
Yeah. You do all that, and stage 3 is lengthy.
What's the noise I always made? Like,
don't punch him in the Z. Like, let's make a fucking weak spot that makes them explode on impact right dead center in the middle of their chest. That's why you lose, Lord Zed. You're not a fucking engineering genius the way you think you are. But stage 4, after you beat the Sentinels, you actually fight more Putty, and then you fight Lord Zed, or Lord Zed's hand. You have to punch these faces off these little cliff rocks, and it doesn't tell you what to fucking do. But you punch the faces off of them, and then you finally realize it's a doorway, kind of. You go in the right one, and it's just Lord Zed standing in a room. He's huge in his hand. And you walk up and just keep smacking the shit out of his hand a few times. You beat him. And,
ow, my hand!
Yeah, then he sends Goldar down. And
Goldar's a dick.
You have to fight Goldar, and he is a pain in the ass because he flies. And every time you go to jump kick him out of the air, he'll counteract with like a flame sword or something, and it just fucks you up. So you fight Goldar as a Power Ranger, and then, of course, fucking Lord Zed's like, grow, grow, grow. Then you fight Giant Goldar as a Zord, and at that point you can pick the Shogun Ninja Zord, or you can pick the White Tiger Zord from, Tommy being the newly acquainted White Ranger. Christened White Ranger from the Green Ranger.
Metamorphized.
Stage 5, you fight more Putty Patrol. You fight Goldar again, and you finally chase Goldar off. And meanwhile, you go to a planet where there's a statue that supplies power to Lord Zed's Zord, the Serpentron, I think was the name of it, the big green dragon Lord Zed rolled in, because he's like destroying a planet where Zordon's from, and you have to destroy this statue, just cut off the power pretty much, and it's an inanimate statue, so literally you go up and just waylay the fuck out of it and beat it, and you beat the level. By doing that, it sends you to the final level, stage 6. This is a very short game. I literally can play through it in about 30 minutes. And it is very easy.
Beat it on lunch break, huh?
I did, literally. My 9 o'clock break and my lunch break today, I beat it. Very, very easy. Plenty of power-ups, plenty of credits. I mean, it's got a harder difficulty, and still the hardest difficulty is manageable easily. But stage 6, you fight Ivan Ooze as the Morphicon, like in the movie. You fight him on planet Earth, and then you end up fighting in Angel Grove, of course. Then you fight him on the moon, and then when you beat him, just like in the movie, you get an ending cutscene of them fighting going through the air, and you hit the B button, and it extends a punch and just knocks him straight out, and the comet picks him up. And you get a real cheesy video of these really bad digitized Power Rangers all fucking smiling and shit, and Bulk and Skull sitting there telling all these kids about how the Power Rangers are a bunch of pussies and they didn't help Bulk and Skull do a goddamn thing. Power Rangers are out getting powerful with each other's assholes, and Bulk and Skull saved the day. You know, something I wanted to ask about the Power Rangers movie. You remember anything about it?
Yeah.
Okay, you remember when Ivan Ooze makes the actual fucking slime and is like getting the kids preoccupied with the slime while he's like leading their parents to like mass suicide by jumping off the cliff?
Yeah, I remember the suicide. I don't remember him making the slime.
Well, there's a scene where all the kids are partying, and I got some music. Hold on, I got something for this. Anyways, there's a scene where they're all hanging out at the like the fucking subway or something, and like they're all hanging out listening to this song, and like Bulk and Skull are like hanging out with these little ass kids, like little kids playing with this slime and shit, and they're all just jamming out listening to the song. Got me to thinking. I'm like, you motherfuckers are like 19? Why are y'all hanging out with 11-year-olds? Listen to this. Play with slime. Something sounds really bad about all of that.
Yep.
Does it not? I just thought I'd bring that up. That's it, though. It's other than that.
You gonna mention something about the Green Ranger earlier?
They make mention of the Green Ranger, but it never shows him.
Okay.
Because there's the transitional period between Rita to Zed, where her Green Ranger thing fails, and Zed's like, "Fuck you, I'm stepping in and taking control."
Yeah.
And then it says something too. It's like with the Green Ranger's power destroyed, and you see this really bad digitized pictures of fucking Tommy without the helmet on, just be like smiling. It's like, Tommy is now the White Ranger.
Yeah, Tommy, the green/white, and then Billy the blue one, they were the longest running Rangers, I think.
They were. Tommy, actually, Billy doesn't have anything to do with the Power Rangers series at all now, but they did some sort of anniversary episode here recently. It was like celebrating 30 years of Power Rangers, and it had even the ones from Japan before we got Power Rangers.
The Senpai.
It had all of that, and Tommy reprised his role, but he's not the White Ranger now. He's back as the Green Ranger.
Okay.
Which I'm fine with. What I was getting at, though, is they released a picture last week of Elizabeth Banks, the actress who's playing Rita Repulsa in the Power Rangers reboot. And she's all sexy hot, of course, which is kind of odd because it's Rita Repulsa. But one thing I couldn't help but notice, all her armor in the promotional picture they released is green and gold.
Huh.
So I'm kind of wondering. And
did they at least give her road cone boobs? She's got to have road cone boobs.
No, she got no.
God damn it, that's Rita Repulsa. Rita Repulsa has road cone boobs.
No, she's sexy. She's sexy, Rita Repulsa.
Why?
She's
You give her a big rat's nest hairdo. And
No.
Yeah, if you would have showed me that picture before, I would have never guessed in a million years. That's supposed to be Rita Repulsa.
That's her, though.
I don't like that.
Green and gold.
I don't want to mind the green and gold to tie it together, but keep at least some of what made the old Rita Repulsa costume what it was. She looks more like...
She looks like the bad guy from the later Power Ranger, like, iterations.
She looks like an extra from the Stargate TV series, or she looks like a shitty cosplay of Reptile. Like a gender bender Reptile cosplay.
So there's another picture, too. I'm thinking she's going to be the Green Ranger. She's going to have her own Power Ranger. So, dude, that's just my guess. She's going to be the Green Ranger. God damn it is right.
I fucking hate everything.
You should. I'm pretty sure... yeah, I'm just pretty sure.
Give her a big fucking rat's nest wig and real cone boobs. I don't give a shit about the rest of that. That's two of Rita's like defining costume features. That and the staff. And they gave her the staff at least.
I don't know. I just seen this too, and they're hinting there's a silver gold apparatus, so there's probably gonna be a White Ranger in this too.
Huh. So he's gonna do that the entire fucking first season in one movie?
I guess so.
That fucking sucks.
The next one will be like...
Power Rangers had too much depth to do that. They couldn't possibly cover it all.
The second film will be like Power Rangers Neon Jungle Ninja Force.
So once they started doing that goofy ass like Jungle Force shit, I dropped out of it. I was like, yeah, it's just...
Oh yeah, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is it.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch the Neo, none of that.
Oh, the worst one is I call them the Harry Potter Rangers. It's Power Rangers Mystic Force. They ride around on fucking brooms and shit.
Really?
It's fucking awful. And the intro music is rap. I was like, what in the fuck? A long time ago, my stepson I got him into the Power Rangers train, and he started watching all of them. So I was digging it the first season. Then it's like, I don't know about this jungle stuff. And then eventually it went to some weird like future Power Rangers, and then it went to I think Mystic Force was one of the newer ones, and that was fucking garbage. And then it came out to Power Rangers Samurai, which is a semi-newer one. I don't know what the newest one is. It's somewhat like Samurai.
Like Pirate Force or something.
Pirate Force. Pirate Force.
It's Space Pirates or some shit.
Oh, shit. There for a while, like they did a second iteration of the Samurai, and like it came on with the old school like speed metal and stuff. I was like, this ain't too bad. Maybe they're going back in that direction. But from what you just said, it kind of sounds like they decided not to again. Saban
is actually helping them do this reboot movie.
I guess that's okay. I mean, I'm glad that the original guys in it.
Saban does all the other shitty ones though too.
Yeah, so. Exactly. Like, be like, oh, George Lucas is helping make the new Star Wars. I'm like,
keep your distance, Lucas.
But then
that's it.
Saban did do Big Bad Beetleborgs too,
and VR Troopers.
Yeah.
Ugh. Which was a precursor to Days of Our Lives.
Beetleborgs.
I just remember that shitty Elvis ghost thing.
Yeah, Flabber. I've had to watch some of that.
I'm sorry you remember that.
I've had to watch it more recently, like over the past few years. I've had to watch it.
Well, let's get on to answering our question from last week. Episode number 55.
I think we need to make an announcement about our question first.
That's right. I forgot.
So I guess starting tonight for our next question that we're going to ask, not this question, but yeah,
we're combining our lame game giveaway along with the question of the week.
So answer the question, and if we think you got the best question,
you get a prize.
You get the prize of the lame game. We will thrust it upon you.
This week's lame game giveaway is still the Lion King. Simba's Mighty Adventure for PlayStation 1.
No one claimed that masterpiece. I wonder why.
Nobody did. So, until somebody gives us a reason why they deserve this game, it's going to sit here on this goddamn desk. You heard it.
Well, yeah.
Our question last week.
Which came from Steve Steverson, is if you could combine two franchises and make a game such as Marvel vs. Capcom, which two would you combine and why?
Well, I had a couple answers. Buddy Clay Byram over at Blow Your Pod said Battletoads versus Contra. That's an interesting cross-up.
Yeah.
I would like the fucking train rolling in. And here it comes around the bend. He said, 2 of my favorite games when I was younger, and who wouldn't essentially want to see those guys battle each other? I agree with that.
Yeah.
God damn, could you imagine the difficulty of Contra and Battletoads combined?
Imagine a Contra level on this Battletoads speeder bikes.
Oh, fuck that bull. Having to shoot and dodge.
Yeah.
And Dustin Culp said, how about a SimCity combined with multiple franchises such as Earthbound or Zelda? Why? Because that would be badass. Look at it like an open world creator in SimCity, SNES style, where you build your city and your players based on other franchises like Mario or Zelda, or something crazy, where you could gain their weapons and powers based on the game chosen and use them to destroy your city. Use Mario to build a mushroom city and go ahead and mow down people with fireballs and such. The possibilities are endless.
Sim on it.
That'd be kind of cool.
Sim 4-side.
Sim Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah.
They might as well. I mean, they made a sim game for every fucking thing else.
Oh, yeah. Buddy Ricky Foster, he said, I'm really awful at 2D fighting games, but I think they're super cool. I would enjoy Marvel vs. Capcom vs. Nintendo. I can't decide whether it would be cooler to have Captain America in a game with a Super Smash Bros. Engine or to have Mario do a hyper combo and shoot a massive Hadouken. I think more games should use the Super Smash Bros. Engine. It's nice. I would like to see Mario do some Hadoukens.
It's me, a Mario Hadouken.
Hadouken! Mike McDaniel says it has to be franchises fighting, not like Minecraft and Stardew Valley. And he says, just to see all the... I'm going to butcher this name, I'm sorry, Mike. Yoshitaka Amano characters.
Very good.
I like to see Final Fantasy versus Vampire Hunter D. D only had one game, but they brought in all the crazy characters in that world from the books. There would be plenty of competition for... my phone is blank screen on me. Hold on. Yes. Curses! Yeah, they brought in all the crazy characters in that world from the books. There would be plenty of competition for the Final Fantasy characters. D would be the final boss. I can see that. That got me thinking there needs to be a Gantz and Pokemon mashup. You ever see Gantz?
I don't think so.
Gantz is it's so fucking weird and bad at times that it's good. It's one of the weirdest animes I've seen for this the concept and the characters and stuff. But the basis of Gantz is there's this. Well, it revolves around this character. I don't remember their names. They had all these Japanese names that sound the same to me. I'm sorry if that's racist, but I can't make them out. Anyway, this character, he's like a high school kid. And him and his friend and some girl, him and his friend get killed on a subway station. They get run over by the subway. And instead of, dying, they wake up in this apartment with all these other people. And there's this big fucking sphere in the apartment. And the sphere opens up and it gives them these guns and these like spandex suits, and it just gives them like this weird objective to kill this alien. And they're like, what the fuck do we do? And this whole time when they came back in this apartment, they figured out that everyone else in there had died, and they couldn't get out of the apartment until that Gantz, the ball they call it Gantz, opened up and gave them the guns and the spandex. And it pops up with a objective, like in the first episode, it said, go kill the green onion alien. And this just shows a picture of this little like green kid with spiky hair. So they get out of the apartment, half the people are like, fuck this shit, it must have been drugs or whatever, this is all just a fucking dream, I'm going home. And people who just go home, if they go out of boundaries, they just fucking explode and die. So, but the guns that they get are like, they're all fucked up. The main pistol that they get, if you shoot somebody with a pistol, nothing happens. 5 minutes later, like their arm might explode. So basically, for whatever reason, this Gantz thing is bringing in dead people and having them kill these aliens for whatever reason. If it's like some system to defend Earth against aliens or something. Even though a lot of the aliens seem innocuous, like they weren't hurting anybody until these guys started hunting them. But I'd like to see that concept applied to Pokemon. Like, they go out and start hunting a Gyarados. And Gyarados is fucking eating them and just fucking their shit up. Because, Gyarados is like a 20-foot tall fucking monster.
Yeah.
He's a
fucking
dragon
beast.
Yeah. So I'd like to see that. This horrifically violent Pokemon versus, like, people who don't even know what the fuck they're doing trying to kill them. Because that was half the fucking glory of Gantz. It's like half the people when they had no fucking clue what they were doing, what was the purpose of it. It's just like, here's some guns and stuff. There's what you got to kill. Good luck.
Figure the rest out for your fucking self.
Yeah, and usually ends up with them dying and not coming back. So
nice. I think I'd really like to see Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. Because I just imagine it'd be like Street Fighter's all like clean cut and fix to start, and like somebody from Mortal Kombat just throws a goddamn spear or something that goes through one of their heads, and they're like, Jesus fucking shit! Just all out running away. Get over here!
Yeah.
That'd be badass. Resident Evil and Metal Gear Solid would be a kind of a cool mashup.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
Because, I mean, it's along the same lines, Maybe... Especially like in Metal Gear Solid 4, they have like biomechanical shit, so you could incorporate like zombie monster element into that. Because I mean, everything in Resident Evil is bioweapons. So,
since the Smash Brothers roster is so fucking gargantuan now, they need to put some Clay Fighter characters in there.
That would be kind of cool.
That
man.
would be fucking cool. Like Mr. Frosty in there, or what was the Elvis guy?
Blue Suede Goo.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
It's Blue Suede Goo and what was the Taffy dude's name?
I think it was Taffy.
Was it Taffy?
I think so.
There was Helga.
Yeah, the big Nordic woman or whatever.
Was Blob just the green thing, or
may have been?
See something.
Mr. Frosty's one of the main ones I remember because he's always on the commercials.
There was the rabbit. I can't remember the rabbit's name.
That was a difficult fucking game.
Oh, dude, all the Clay Fighter games are so fucking hard. Borderline not fun, hard to me.
They make me hard though. I like them.
Turns that clay straight into rock. So what's next week's
Turns
question?
that limp into a pimp.
Ain't that a dandy?
We do need a new question of the week, huh? I thought of one some time ago, and I done forgot it because I'm an idiot. Throw and pause. We'll take a second to come up with something.
Okay, we're back. What gaming franchise would you like to see end?
I could think of a few.
I could too. And I know everybody knows what our answers will be.
Yeah. There's
COD.
some that are
COD. COD. COD.
There's some, mentions such as that are really unhealthy for the gaming industry. And they're really fucking up the way other games are made because they're trying to model after their success and they should be doing their own thing instead.
That'll be a good one.
Give us an answer. You make us laugh, make us chuckle. You'll get a game out of it.
Yeah, indeed. Right now on the table, still to go out, somebody's claimed is this crisp, like new copy of the collector's edition for PlayStation 1 The Lion King, Simba's Mighty Adventure.
It's CIB.
It's Disney Interactive. I've never played this, but I can say Disney Interactive, for the most part, made some pretty fun games.
Yeah.
So,
and we're going to personalize it.
We are.
It'll be one of a kind. It'll be Super Collector's Edition.
We still got to get last week's winners.
Yeah, Frank, Geef, and Mike.
Message. Let us know what you want in your carts, and we'll get them out to you.
We know what Frank wants. We'll get it out to him.
Good. We'll get Michael's. We'll have to mail Frank's, won't we?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to have to go overseas, I think. Even though he said he's an American, he didn't sound like it. I don't know.
We'll see.
He couldn't possibly lie to us over voicemail, so.
That doesn't happen. We're fixing we'll have it on our way out, though. Or on its way out. And give us a call.
Yeah, 682-777-GOOD.
Please. We like hearing from you.
I know we kept saying, and it seems like every week we say, we're about to do video. Well, we're really about to start doing video. We're going to start recording with a camera so we can get used to it, figure everything out. And then, once we get all the bugs ironed out, we're going to start streaming and doing videos. So you see our ugly mugs.
Maybe do some Let's Plays and all them fun things.
One step at a time, though.
Good old gamers going worldwide. Worldwide. It's a $3 trillion industry, motherfucker, and we taking over. 3 Yellow Man Trillionaire Club, Rockefeller Records, Rhyme Syndicate. Sorry, I'm ripping off another YouTube video I saw earlier.
Good.
Anywho, check us out, Good Old Gamers.
I never did a Hot and Steamy.
Oh, my fuck.
How did we forget that shit?
Wow. I'm ashamed.
I am too.
Mildly aroused, though. I'm aroused that my wife has cooked pork chops. I can
That
smell
is
them.
arousing. Tonight's Hot and Steamy is Worms Reloaded.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Made by Team 17 in 2010. It's based off the older Worms games. I think the first Worms game was on PC in 95 or something like that. And it's largely the same game, just with newer shit and crispier graphics.
Nice.
Worms, for those that don't know, is a 2D multiplayer turn-based strategy game. Strategy/artillery game, I guess you'd say. You play on randomly generated maps, which are all comical in nature. Like some of them will be a nuclear wasteland type map, or like a picnic at the beach map type thing. And your worms like the size of tiny worms, and they'll be gigantic picnic baskets and stuff that you just got to scale over or dig your way through or whatever. But it's 2 or more teams. I think you can go up to 8 teams in total, but man, you're gonna have a long fucking game. I never do more than 3 because
I have played with like 5 people at once back in the day, and it is very. You gotta wait on everybody to complete their turn.
Yeah. You don't play with more than like 3 people total because
2 is optimal.
Yeah, you're gonna be there a long time. But it's really good though. You take a turn with each of your worms in these 2D environments, and you try to kill the other player's worms. There's a real big myriad of weapons. Some of the more memorable ones. There's classic airstrike. You just drop in bombs overhead with like a plane. There's the kamikaze where you just blow yourself up, and it's about like using a stick of dynamite in the game. It's good if you have a worm who's got like a couple hit points left. You can kamikaze and either outright kill one of the enemy worms or like knock them off the edge. There's 2 ways to die in the game. You can run out of hit points. You start at 100. If your worm goes to 0, he dies. Or he can fall off the edge until like there's always like some ocean or sludge or something. The edge of the map, wherever that may be, or even new holes blown into the map. If you fall into the liquid below, you die.
Do not knock your worm into the water, whatever in the fuck you do.
Do not accidentally backflip into the water. That's very easy to do. But yeah, what was I going to say? There's a baseball bat, which is really good for knocking other worms in the water. One of my favorites, I don't know what it was called, but it's the poke. You can just poke a worm, and it does like 1 damage, and just barely knocks them back. But there's no more insulting way to kill your enemy's worms than to poke them off the edge of the map. Or they have 1 health left, poke them. But I don't advise that, because when your worm dies with straight up damage, if they aren't in the liquid, they pull out this...
they kill the fuck out of themselves.
Yeah, they pull out this, the classic Acme dynamite plunger, and just blow themselves the fuck up. And it does damage to everyone around them and makes a small crater. The environment's fully destructible. It's one of the best things about the game. It's almost like the entire map is made out of cheese. And all the explosions, gunshots, and everything else just eats away at the map as you go. There's like the blowtorch. You can just tunnel straight around with the blowtorch. So you can make your own little wormholes, for lack of a better word, using the blowtorch. You can also build. You can get girders in the game and kind of build barriers and stuff. it's a strategy I would use when I'm low on worms. Is I would hold up my worm in the center of the map with the girders and use like nothing but air strikes and napalm strikes to strike from the outside to try to do whatever I could against the overwhelming numbers, try to even the odds.
Very strategic.
Other good weapons, there's classic bazooka, and a lot of people who use it don't realize that the longer you hold down the bazooka fire button, the harder it fires. So if you just tap the button, it lands at your feet and you explode. But if you hold it down, you can shoot it damn near across the map.
It's kind of got like a little charging thing that expands the longer you hold
and
the button.
And that's the thing. A lot of these weapons are just like one button press uses. That bazooka, you press it one time, it's you're shooting your feet.
Yeah. Good job, fuck. You
also,
just killed everybody.
Wind plays a big part in it too. So you have a wind meter, and if you see the wind blowing hard to the left, you're gonna have to compensate it for it. If you shoot to the left, you're gonna have to shoot aim early. If it's blown against you, you gotta aim further, and especially for your airstrikes, since they drop in from the top and kind of fall down, the wind really affects them more than other weapons. So there's the fire punch, which if I remember right, is where you put on a like a ninja, or not like a karate bandana, and you do a Shoryuken uppercut. Shoryuken uppercut, and you punch the fuck out of them. There's a holy hand grenade, which is an obvious reference to Monty Python, which is basically a slightly more powerful grenade that only explodes when it stops and when its timer is up. Napalm Strike is classic because it chews the fuck through the terrain, and it does continuous damage to worms, so it's one of my favorites. There's the sheep and the super sheep, which is probably my favorite overall.
I love the sheep.
Yeah, you let the sheep loose. It's the normal sheep. You let it loose, and it just runs forward, baa, jumping and shit. And sometimes it'll come back to your ass, too, so you gotta be careful. But you can set it off prematurely, or you can just let it go, and it'll explode eventually. But it's just an exploding sheep. The super sheep, it's the same thing, except you can, I think you can press the fire button once. There might be a different button, I don't recall, but you can make it start flying around. You can control it while it's flying, so you can kind of do a tactical strike from across the map with the super sheep. Then there's the more utility type stuff, like the aforementioned blowtorch and girder. There's teleporter. You can teleport your worm anywhere on the map, but that's your worm's whole turn. So if you teleport yourself in front of your enemy, they're going to kick your ass. But sometimes it's nifty if you see like a power-up drop somewhere or something like that, you want to teleport on top of it, you can do that. And the main other two utility items, there's the jetpack, which has its obvious uses, and the much more, I would say easily, well, it's not easier to use, but the ninja rope is you just shoot off like a grappling hook, and you can retract and extend your rope out, and you can swing around using, basic
One
physics.
handy thing to do with that is you can still drop a grenade too while you're roped.
If you master the ninja rope, it's a huge advantage of the game because it's like infinite mobility, basically.
I spent a whole summer when I was like 18. A lot of the guys I used to play music with, they had a PlayStation out in the garage where we practiced that, and that is the only fucking game we had was Worms.
Well, it's a good game to have.
Oh my god, dude. Several drunk times, about 3 or 4 in the morning, yelling at somebody because they kill your last fucking commander.
I ain't nothing like you throw
savage motherfucker.
You throw a banana bomb, and then all the smaller bananas just fly the fuck everywhere.
Cluster bomb?
Yeah.
Fuck that thing.
So, I really recommend checking out Worms if you haven't. This is Worms Reloaded. It's more than more newer renditions. I think there's a one or two more after Worms Reloaded. I don't recall. I think Worms Armageddon is one. Or that might have been before this one. I'm not sure. And anyways, Worms Reloaded, I know its base price is $20. It goes on sale like every other day for a penny. So pick it up if you have never checked out a Worms game. It's really hot and steamy.
Dick's on full swole.
Yep. Your worm's going to like this one.
Nice. Well, then that's it.
That's it.
Cool. GoGamers.com. Follow us on Twitter. Hit us up on Facebook, Go Gamers Podcast. Stitcher, listen to us. iTunes. Reviews are good.
Definitely like us some reviews.
We make that boing noise at fucking reviews, too. You know?
Man, I beat off to y'all's reviews.
Yep.
So
leave them. Love us or hate us, let us know. We'd like to hear it out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
You got something you want to say, something you need to tell me and Brandon, suggestions, hit us up. Lyle at goodoldgamers.com, Brandon at goodoldgamers.com. YouTube, we're coming. Cameras coming. All that, y'all know all that shit. There ain't no reason to sit here and tell you all that. So,
yep.
Until... If we're gonna record this Saturday,
try to.
We're gonna see what up. We missed the deadline because we're adults.
Yeah,
life happens.
It's really hard to make the jump from the middle of the week to Saturday because that's not much time to play games.
Yeah,
and then shit comes up too. So
it's life.
Yep.
But anywho, from us to you. Until next time, game over, man.
Game over.
Hurt my tummy.